You know that sign in with Google button? Of course you do. You probably click it a dozen times a week. But have you ever stopped to wonder what's actually happening behind the scenes? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on that hidden handshake that pretty much runs our digital lives.
First, just think about this for a second. How many different passwords do you have right now? You've got one for your email, your bank, all your social media accounts, that random online shop you used once.
Yeah, if you're anything like me, it's way too many to keep track of. It's this universal headache, right? It's like having a giant clunky keyring with a different key for every single door on the planet.
But here's the kicker. You're already using the elegant, simple solution to this whole mess every single day, and you might not even think twice about it. I'm talking about those little buttons, sign in with Google, continue with Apple. The official name for this incredibly powerful system, it's called Federated Identity.
Okay, so to really get how this works, let's use an analogy. Imagine the internet is a massive city full of exclusive clubs and private parties. And getting into any of them means you have to get past a very efficient digital bouncer. So, player number one in this whole setup is the identity provider, or IdP for short. This is your Google account, your Apple ID, you get the idea. They're the trusted authority, the one place that can officially vouch for who you are. Seriously, think of them as the DMV for the entire internet.
And then you have the relying party, or RP. This is the exclusive club you're trying to get into, the streaming service, the news site, whatever it is. And let's be honest, they don't want the hassle of building their own security and checking everyone's ID at the door.
And this is where the magic happens. The secret sauce is the trust agreement between them. It's called federation. It's just a prearranged deal where this whole network of clubs, our relying parties, all agree to trust the IDs issued by one specific authority, our identity provider. That is the handshake happening in the background.
But, okay, how do they actually communicate that trust? I mean, when you click that login button, the website doesn't just take Google's word for it blindly. It needs real, verifiable proof. They need to speak a special, secure language of trust. And that proof comes in a special digital message. It's called an assertion. The best way to think about it is like a secure, encrypted digital note passed from the identity provider straight to the website. And all that note says is, hey, I've checked this person's credentials, they're legit, you can let them in.
Now look, this isn't just some casual arrangement that tech companies cooked up over lunch. This is a highly standardized process, and it has to be for security. The U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, literally writes the rulebook for this. Their official guidelines define federation as the thing that allows a trusted provider to share your login info with all these different websites.
So what's actually packed inside one of these digital assertions? It's not just a simple yes or no. It's a really structured little package of data. The issuer is just the IDP, like Google saying, I sent this. The subject? Well, that's you. The audience is the specific website that's allowed to read it. The conditions set a super short expiration date on it, and the digital signature is the cryptographic proof that the whole thing is authentic and hasn't been messed with.
Now you can probably see why. For this whole system to work safely across the entire web, everybody needs to be playing by the exact same rules. You can't just have every company making up its own security protocols. That would be absolute chaos. And this is where organizations like NIST are so critical. They publish the official playbook for digital identity. A document just like this one is the blueprint that tells companies precisely how to build these secure systems to make sure our data stays protected. And part of that rulebook defines different levels of trust. They're called Federation Assurance Levels, or FALs. Think of it like this. FAL1 is for pretty basic low-risk stuff. FAL2 is what you see most of the time. It requires those secure, signed assertions we just talked about. And FAL3? That's the digital Fort Knox. It's the highest level of security used for really sensitive things.
All right, let's put all the pieces together. Let's walk through the actual handshake step by step. We're going to use a really common protocol called SAML 2.0 to see the exact sequence of events that happens in just a couple of seconds when you click that login button.
Okay, so this lays it out perfectly. It all happens in the blink of an eye. 1. You click login. 2. That site immediately bounces your browser over to your identity provider, let's say Google. 3. You sign into Google if you aren't already logged in. 4. Now here's the magic. Google creates that secure assertion, that digital pass, and sends it right back to your browser. 5. Your browser,
acting like a superfast messenger, presents that pass to the original website, and 6, the website checks the digital signature, confirms it's valid, and boom, you're in. It's amazing.
So this whole system is incredibly convenient, there's no denying it. But it also brings up some pretty big questions about control and privacy. And as we lean on this tech more and more, it's worth asking, what's next?
So, right now, our digital world is dominated by these huge general-purpose identity providers. A few big tech companies basically hold all the keys. But the future might look very different. The same NIST documents that define today's rules are also exploring a model called subscriber-controlled wallets. Imagine having a secure digital wallet on your phone where you manage your own identity. You could decide exactly what info to share, like prove you're over 21 without revealing your birthday. It would give you total, granular control.
And that brings us to the final, really important question. As more and more of our lives go digital, who do we want holding the keys? A handful of trusted companies? Or you? The hidden handshake that we use every single day is really just the beginning of that conversation.